Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are taking a look at some documentation for a piece of hardware that honestly sounds like pure alphabet soup.
Yeah. It's the Shinybow SB-5648K 4x8 UHD 4K 2K at 30 Hz HDMI matrix routing switcher. Quite a mouthful.
Exactly. So our mission today is to figure out what this thing actually does and, why it might matter.
And it's definitely a serious piece of kit. You can tell just by looking at the price. MSRP is, what, over $2,000? Selling for just under $2,000?
Yeah, $1,971. So definitely not for hooking up your home game console or anything like that.
No, absolutely not. This is professional gear.
And I think one of the most revealing details we found is kind of buried in the features list. It says it's TAA compliant.
Ah, yes. That's huge.
That tells you almost everything you need to know about who this is for, right? Instantly.
Yeah, it really does. TAA, that's the Trade Agreements Act.
Yeah.
And being compliant basically means it's approved for purchase directly by the U.S. government or, by government resellers.
Yeah.
So this device, it's built with institutions in mind, government, military.
Right. So we're talking command centers, maybe secure university labs, that kind of thing, not just standard office IT.
Precisely. And the sourcing notes even confirm that, mentioning specific discounts for .gov, .mil, .edu accounts, even .org.
So that really shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from just consumer specs towards things like reliability, security, mission-critical stuff.
Exactly. Which brings us to the core function. It's a 4x8 matrix routing switch.
Okay, break that down. 4x8 matrix.
Think of it like a traffic controller for really high-def video signals. You've got 4 inputs, maybe 4 different secure computers or video feeds.
Got it. 4 sources.
And you can send any of those 4 sources to any of 8 different screens or destinations simultaneously.
8 outputs. Wow. Why would you need 8? And I saw there's a 9th one too, a preview output.
Right. The preview output mirrors output A1. Think about a command center scenario. You might have 8 different operators who each need to see a specific feed, maybe different camera angles or data streams.
Okay, that makes sense. 8 unique views.
And then the commander, or maybe the supervisor, needs that dedicated preview mirror to keep an eye on the most critical output without disrupting the others. It's all about flexible, total control.
All right, so with that institutional mission-critical angle in mind, let's look at the tech specs. It does 4K 2K resolution at 30 Hertz.
Yep, supports full HDMI video up to that resolution. And it has embedded EDI management, which is important for making sure the source and screen talk properly.
EDI, that's the handshake thing, right? Tells the display what it can handle.
Exactly. And this has 8 different modes for that. Bandwidth is pretty wide, too, 340 megahertz, which translates to about 6.75 gigabits per second total data rate.
That seems like a lot of bandwidth. Why so much, especially for government use? Is it just overkill for reliability?
Pretty much. You need to ensure 0 signal loss or degradation when you're splitting and routing signals across potentially long distances to multiple displays simultaneously. It's built tough. It's also HDCP 1.3 compliant.
HDCP 1.3. That's an older copy protection standard, isn't it? Not the newer 2.2 or 2.3.
It is. And sometimes in these very stable, secure environments, older, proven standards are actually preferred. Less complexity, known variables. Stability often trumps the absolute latest features.
Interesting. Okay, reliability. And handling all that data across 8 outputs plus potentially long cable runs, signal degradation must be a concern.
Absolutely. That's why it has a built-in signal booster. The specs say it can drive a 1080p signal up to 98 feet, so about 30 meters.
Wow.
And even the 4K signal can go up to 66 feet, or 20 meters. That's pretty necessary if you're wiring up large control rooms or facilities.
And audio. Does it handle that too?
Oh yeah, comprehensive digital audio support, Dolby True HD, DTS HD Master Audio, LPCM. Basically, it's ready for professional audio setups too.
All right, let's talk control. If this is going into secure facilities, you probably don't want just anyone being able to mess with the routing. How do you manage it?
Good point. The control options reflect that need for security and professional integration. You've got the basic front panel push buttons for direct access.
Oh, okay. Simple enough.
Then there's an IR remote, and it even supports an IR extender, so you can control it from quite far away, like 300 meters.
Wow.
But for serious integration, you have RS-232 serial control, which often comes with specific software, like the Windows GUI driver mentioned here.
Right, RS-232, that's pretty standard for Pro AV.
And there's also an Ethernet TCP/IP interface for control.
Ah, network control.
But the docs make a point of saying it's not web browser control. That feels deliberate.
Extremely deliberate. Avoiding a standard web interface is a huge security plus in these environments. Web browsers can be vulnerable entry points.
So requiring specific software, like that Windows GUI or direct TCP/IP commands, it locks it down. Exactly. It restricts access and forces interaction through controlled, specific methods, not just anyone on the network with a browser.
Yeah.
Much more secure. Plus, you get a solid 3-year warranty if you buy it through the specified vendor.
Okay, so we started with this really complex part number, the SB-5648K, and we've kind of unpacked it. It's a high-res, multi-output video routing powerhouse. But its identity is almost equally defined by the fact that it's built specifically to meet stringent government procurement rules like TAA and the security needs that come with that.
Absolutely. And that really brings up a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. When you look at professional or institutional technology like this, how often do you think the rules around how it's bought, the procurement process, the regulatory requirements like TAA, actually end up shaping the product's features and design even more than what typical consumers or the broader market might demand?
That's a really interesting point. Procurement driving design, definitely something to think about.